All right, everybody, hello. I think we're live. I'm not sure. The comments are already flying in, and of course, the first thing that you might be saying to yourself is this is live. This isn't a normal kind of reaction we do. A normal three things for there. The reason for that is I said that I was going to live stream at 10:30 tonight on Twitch, and it's now 10:10. So I've got to get a move on, and of course, we're all here to talk about that result just there. Livingston 2, Celtic 2. It just continues to get worse. I actually can't believe what is unfurling in front of my eyes. And as you can see from the title of the live stream as well, I'm thinking to myself, surely that's it. Surely that's the end of the Lennon tenure. But I don't know. I just, at the start of the game, I was thinking to myself, you know what? There's something in the air tonight. There's like a Tony Mowbray St Mirren away vibe tonight. That was what I thought originally. And as the game went on, and as we got to full time, and we see the points getting wrapped up, and Livingston once again getting a good result. When it got to that point, I'm starting to think to myself again, it's not, is it? It's not the end. My dad, as I put this on Twitter, my dad, an actual Celtic dad, actually turned around to me during the game and went, "This is fucking worse than the 90s." And the excuse we've had all season is, from the optimists and the happy clappers, is, you weren't in the 90s, you're entitled. And then he continued to go on and say, look, I hope he doesn't come out and blame something like the weather or the park. And to be honest, it's what I expect. I don't know what he's going to say. Obviously, I've come on here right after the game. I've not really got a chance. But, the way we've went on over the past, we went to Dubai, right, which was bad enough, of course. Of course, we've spoke about that enough on this channel. We've spoke about it many times, about Dubai and the consequences of going to Dubai and all of that kind of nonsense. But, the whole point in going to Dubai for this warm weather training camp was to come back and build on what we were looking to improve on heading into the Rangers game. We came back with the intention to be better, but the intention to be stronger. We've now came back and still not won a game in 2021. We've now came back and not won in our last 4 games. And the stat they read out from the end of the game there was that is the first time since the turn of the millennium, since the year 2000, that we've not won in 4 straight games. So there's that. We've also won 7 of our last 20. So there's that. And it's it's becoming more of a comedy act as we kind of as time moves on. I'm running out of words to describe how we're playing on the park. I think I'm getting used to seeing what I'm seeing now. It's not taking me by surprise anymore. So, I mean, as we get into this video and as we talk about the kind of 3 things we learned, I'll try my best to talk about what we're seeing and what we're, seeing footballing-wise, of course. But it gets more difficult game by game. But, everything that's happened this week, and just to quickly summarise why I've titled the stream the title that I have, just to summarise, what we have seen over the past week is a series of catastrophic errors from Celtic, from Peter Lawwell, and from Neil Lennon. And from all of that, it's something that, let me put it this way. Something made an interesting point to me today. If Bayern Munich or Juventus or any of these top teams in Europe were this close to 10 in a row, right, and they got to where Celtic are now, the manager would be gone. And before anybody takes things out of context, I'm not obviously comparing Celtic with the likes of Bayern Munich, but a big club mentality is to go out and make a huge decision. And the decision would be, we need to get rid of the manager. We need to change things for the better. Right, so that's the first thing. But you look over the past week, you look at the catastrophic events, as I labelled it there, that have unfurled. You look at the of course, coming back from Dubai. You look at that. You look at the draw against Hibs. You look at Peter Lawwell's apology. You look at Neil Lennon taking back Peter Lawwell's apology. And then you look at the draw today. And that 1 week of events right in front of our eyes that we have witnessed unfurl. No manager survives that. No man in any job, I think, survives that. That is a lot of... And then you look yesterday at a situation where Celtic did not address anything Neil Lennon done in the press conference. It didn't bring it up on social media, didn't clip anything. He's quite clearly in hot water with it all, and yet he is surviving. And thank you to the donation, $2 from Pixie Pox. We closed the gap by 1 point, yes. That is 4 games in the bounce now that we haven't won. 3 draws on the bounce. And before we get to talking about the game, very big, once again, the exact same thing I've done the 3 things we learned in the last Livingston game. Massive credit to Livingston today. Very good performance. David Martindale going into the game, and this is another point that makes it just all the more laughable, of course, on Celtic's part. He made 7 changes to his side today. I listened to him before the game, and he said before the game, look, we've got a cup semi-final coming up Sunday. I've got players here who I'm going to rotate. And he was saying about the team, we've got 7 lads I may have changed it. I put 7 lads in the park there who I have complete faith in. They're dying to play football, and I think they can play really good football. And he said it before the game, it was how confident he was. You can tell from the way he speaks, the way that Martindale speaks about his players, the unison between that mob now. Between Livingston, they've got such a great harmony there. They're playing incredible stuff. They have now went 10 games without losing, 8 wins and 2 draws, and the 2 draws coming against what's meant to be, one of the toughest games in the league, and 2 games that they could have won. For all that happened, fair play to Martindale. He's done a massive job there. A cup final, a cup semi-final coming up. Look, 7 changes. Celtic should be able to capitalise on changes like that, and against a team that they should be beaten even when they played their strongest team. But fair play to them. Really good stuff from Livingston, and I think that Martindale can be very proud, especially today when you hear what the SFA were saying this morning. You're hearing that they were going to come out and try and see if he was fit for the job or not. To go out there and watch his team go and get a point in a tough game where Celtic have their first team returning back to duties, when they have their one of their strongest sides out, to go and get a point there, it's very well done from them. And a massive shout out to David Hunter as well as the £82 saying that's it. And look, for me, that is it. I want to wake up tomorrow morning. I want to wake up and see that the news that Lennon is gone. Do I think it will happen? I don't know. We'll just need to wait and see. Lennon, I don't know if he's going to speak to Sky after the game. I don't know who he's going to speak to after the game. I don't know what he's going to say after the game, but it will be really intriguing to see. But that there simply isn't good enough. And it's another example of why change is needed now at this club. Look, we all know that the title was away to the other side of the city back in October, back in November. We've known this for a while, but the manner of how things are now happening at the club is beyond a joke. And for anyone at the higher ups to sit and justify why he's still at the place as manager. Right, 3 things we learned. Let's move on to that. We'll try and talk about it. Today, let's get one thing straight before we go any further. Celtic played a lot better today than what they did. It's still not good enough, right enough, but they played a lot better today than what they did at the weekend there at Celtic Park. And obviously, I think a big part of that was that you see the likes of the best, you see the likes of your top players return back to the team. Of course, we're still missing a couple of them. Julian's out for a long time. Eduard wasn't there, but you see the likes of Griffiths and such, and El saying these players return to the team. Barkas, all the first team players. So you're going to expect some improvement. Until we went 1-0 down, I thought we looked quite decent. I thought we looked all right. It still wasn't. You were still letting Livingston in, and you could see Livingston were going to be dangerous whenever they were granted a chance to counter, and they were. So they went up 1-0, rocked us a little bit, but then we get back into the game. We've done well. We make it 1-0, we make it 2-1, and at that point we looked quite confident. I think that the team looked quite good at that point, and it looked as though we were going to steer in the direction of a win. But then they get the equaliser through a well worked goal, to say the least, especially in difficult conditions. And they make it 2-2, and from that point, Celtic never looked the same. And Luke Livingston, for me, at that point in the game, could easily have went on to go and score 1 or 2 more, win the game. And I think that most Celtic fans would agree with me. And despite the fact that we looked good at points in the game, I think if we were to go on and score a late winner there, which we had a couple of good chances too, don't get me wrong, I think Griffiths had a decent strike. There was a couple of chances, but I think there would have been robbery for us. I think again, we would have robbed Livingston if we went on to win that game. I think Livingston were very well organised once more. Martindale went with the same approach. And the fact that we can't suss out these same approaches, the fact that we can't figure out teams, is a really worrying sight to the tactical whereabouts of Neil Lennon. So I'm saying there's 3 things we learned today. What are the 3 things we've learned? I think the 3 things, another £2 from Dave, thank you very much, says we just lack pizzazz. We did. we did, didn't we? No, there's no excuses today. Once more, I think we've got to that point as a club now where we need to accept that there is no excuses. We're just simply not good enough at the minute. We're simply a very poor side. The happy clappers can try as much as they like to make excuses, but as I've said many times on this channel, I'll be telling it how it is. I've said that so many times. So, it's And I see Super Hellhawk there. I think he sums it up perfectly. Embarrassing, no passion, no desire, tactically naive. Look, we have conceded 53%. Well, I might have changed to maybe about 52% after their other goal. But on half-time, the stat was 53% of the goals we have conceded this season have been from set pieces. Now, tactical naivety, for me, is now becoming an understatement. Because 53% of goals conceded being from set pieces, that's not naivety. That's completely bypassing the issue at the club. That's completely overlooking something that needs to be improved on. So naivety, I think, at this point, is starting to become an understatement. But nail on the head, once again, it's one of those ones that, there was no passion, there's no fight. I think very few players look as though they care at the minute. There's rumours flying about of this, that, and the next thing. I think Ayer impressed me the most today, but it's a matter of where do we go now. For me, it's very obvious where we go, and I think for the majority of us, we're all in unison in saying where the club goes. But there's not enough time for me to sit here and talk about all the issues from today's game and all the issues that are just right in front of us. The evidence is there to prove what's wrong and what needs to change. But I'd be here for 45 minutes. If that was the case. 2-2, very good result for Livingston. Celtic, we're throwing away more and more points as it goes, and this is very quickly becoming a case of no longer trying to close the gap between us and Rangers. It's now becoming the point of, can we even finish second with the way it's going? So you know what, we'll move on. We've got Hamilton next. I don't expect much of it. I expect Celtic to go and struggle again, because that's what's going on just now. The holiday has indeed helped them out, Jen. Anyway, I think there was one more thing I wanted to cover. I can't mind what it was now. I can't mind what I was going to say. This is a problem when you're live. You don't have that. You can't just sit and stare for 5 minutes into the darkness and go, what was I going to say? And then edit it as if nothing happened. You don't get that luxury. But look, my dad sat there once again. I've used a quote from my dad already. He's sitting there and we're watching Shane Duffy, and he puts it perfectly. He couldn't tackle a fish supper. Brown, we've not even touched on Brown. We've not even spoke about Scott Brown. What's he doing? He comes off. He gets a chance. He comes on the park and he's off in 5 minutes. Throws his fist at somebody. I mean, come on. And a lot of people are saying, that's harsh. That's not a red card. And I understand that in the point that it might not have looked as brutal as what you would build up a red card to be. Even a red card, that when you hear that, you might think, he's took an actual swing at him. But the fact is, it's a deliberate, he brings a hand up to the face. And he's given, it's the same situation as Beaton. Do not give the referee that decision to make. He's made the referee's day very easy by making it look like a red card scenario. He doesn't need to put up his hand the way he does. So that's why I can fully accept that a red has been given there. I'm not saying that, he's went out his way to try and knock him out, but he's gave the referee a decision where he can go, right, I've seen what I think I've seen, and a red card has come out. That's what's happened there. Patrick McFadden says gives €2. Quick Tesco hand in the CV at Celtic Park. I would absolutely love to at this point. And Robert Osborne, keep up the good work, Ryan Lennon must go. Thank you very much, lads. It means a lot. So we'll see what happens over the next 24 hours. I think it'll be an intriguing 24 hours. Look, if this time tomorrow night Lennon's still in charge, I want to say I'll be bewildered, but I think that I've accepted the reality of I won't be surprised. So we'll just have to wait and see. Anyway, thank you to everybody for coming checking out. I realise it's a lot of Rangers fans, the comments coming to, as they would say, live it up. But it's understandable, it's understandable. You see our rivals struggle, and you want to see the reaction. I will be going live on Twitch in approximately half an hour. So head over there at official Ryan118 and we can perhaps talk more about the game, even though I don't really want to. I'm becoming sick of talking about Celtic in a minute. But look, there's a severe problem with Celtic just now, and it needs sorted. It's no Lennon, it's the players, says Alan. That is absolute ball sacks. Ball sacks. And that's how we'll end the stream. Thank you very much. Anyway, thank you all for watching. I'll see you all next time. I forgot this is